That in traffic.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back. It's been a little bit of time, but I am glad that everybody is back in the seats that I left you in. I appreciate you guys as always. If you do not know who we are Roots and Routes Podcast. What we do is try to give you guys some insight on what the Black expat life abroad experience looks like, because a lot of you guys are looking to make the move, and what we do is try to give you not only understanding of what the other side of the TSA looks like, but also what you may need to do to prepare yourself, getting ready for what is your relocation journey and how to do so. So, thank you guys as always. I'm talking to my co-host at this point for showing up right back where it is that obviously left you. Shout out to you guys wherever it is. Make sure you guys are letting everybody know where it is. I know some of you guys are cold today. Shout out to Miss Tisha. And I know it is definitely different being back in the United States. How you been?
Ah, boy, it's an adjustment. Every time I come here, I remember why I left. I would say that. um, it's funny when you grow up in a place and then realize you no longer align with that place. And a
Hmm.
lot of people be ashamed to say it, but it's really true. I came back excited to do a lot of things when I got here, and the energy is so heavy and so thick. I've only been able to eat and go to bed.
Mm.
Eat and go to
Listen,
bed, and it's freezing cold. So I definitely know why I left. It's always good confirmation to get when you come back to realize like you made the right choice for yourself. Again, this choice is not for everybody, but for the select few, it's an amazing choice when you know you did the right thing.
Yeah,
nah, that
for
is real.
sure.
I get a lot of that, and I definitely want to make certain that we shout out also because I know our sister Michelle just got back from the United States. Let me ask you, did you go through those same feelings when you were there?
Somewhat. It was a happy time because I got to see some people that I haven't seen in a long time. It's been a minute since I've been back. And yeah, so it was like homecoming season, not my school, but a neighbor, your school, Morehouse.
Shout out to Spell House for
So I
sure.
got to see and I got to walk my old campus, so that was cool. And then actually I went to New York. So I was in New York for a few days. It was my first time really like exploring the city like that. So
Good.
I needed a little reset, and that was so odd for me to be like taking a reset in the States
Reset
when
in New York.
normally it's the
I missed
opposite.
the chaos, eh? Nah, that is interesting. A lot of people don't realize, and it's not something that you can actually do until you spend a lot of time out of the United States, especially from like a relocation perspective. The different nuances that you have to navigate when you do go back to the United States. I often tell
Mhm.
people the weight of America is one to not realize that you have on you when you're before you move. Then two, obviously, once you get on the other side, realizing what was on you and not having to deal with it anymore. But the third one is when you do ultimately have to go back, whether it's you go back to live or you go back traveling and you put it back on. And it gets a little heavier than you remember it ever being. So I know we wanted to get into a lot of things that tonight that have been on people's radar and in our inboxes. And I know Tisha has some burning things that she wanted to kind of set the level and set the tone with, because I know a lot of people are looking at the media and seeing what is portrayed about these places. And it's funny because a lot of the places that are in the media right now, Colombia, Mexico, early in the year was Panama. These are some of the
Mhm.
top places for expats to actually go live, or Americans to leave America and go, relocate abroad. So talk to me about what you've been seeing, Tisha, in your inbox, because I know you've been inundated with a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming from different aspects, right? So some people are talking about the decline of the dollar. Others are talking about safety in Colombia. And it just, I mean, I get it all the time. And I think yesterday was just like the boiling point for me because I was like, wait a minute. You guys live in a melting pot of crime, infestation, drugs, in ineffective food supply, the school system. Like we like people glorify YNs like it's a thing, and that's scary because that's a whole generation of people that comes behind us. And like, what is the outcome of that, right? I'm being a YN, right? And so I question the logic of so many people when they say, "Oh my gosh, Trump's gonna go to war with Colombia. Should I still come and move? Is it still safe?" What are you gonna do if they go to war? What are you guys thinking? That they just gonna bomb Colombia? Every news article I heard was talking about narcos, was talking about trafficking, was talking about that type of stuff. It had nothing to do with just regular tourism. It had nothing to do with us living abroad there. I'm not in that trafficking game. So it's crazy the way people take news and they translate it for themselves. Also, it also represents so much fear that has been embedded in so many people. It's like, just like how you said when we first started, 1 month it was Panama, the next month it was Canada, now it's Colombia. Guys, you're watching a soap opera on TV, and it's almost crazy to say fake news, but it literally is. And once you engulf yourself in it, it becomes your world, right? So us living abroad, we're still having a great time. We're still hanging out. We're still doing all those things that we've been doing. And you guys are reading the news and being like, "Oh my God, Colombia is about to go to war, Petro and Trump." Yeah, all those people that moved abroad. Look, it's craziness. It really, and then I think the growth I've been through, right? At first I was ignoring all of these questions and comments, and then I just had enough. It was like, okay, we don't even have a common sense factor, right? To even think past of what we're actually living in. I'm here in America right now, and the energy here is so heavy. Everybody is big as hell. The kids big, mama big, daddy big. Y'all in a war on y'all food supply, and you won't even fight against that. But you're talking about Colombia going to war. Y'all in a war of dollar. The dollar. Okay, that was the other one. Oh my God, the dollar's gonna collapse. How are you gonna afford to live there? I was buying a property there. I think I need to put the purchase on hold because
Hmm.
the dollar might fall. But y'all not worrying about how the dollar has depreciated here in the US. How many people can't even pay their bills.
Hmm.
How you can't even walk in a store and buy anything for $1. So it's like they've been brainwashed to believe, again, still to this day, America's the great. America's the great, when everybody that's hearing all these news articles should be trying to find a place to move that lowers your overhead, that lowers the amount of money that you have to put out every month. Because again, we're all in the unknown. But it's not for you to think like, oh, I need to stay here because it's the American dream. We're in America. No, guys, this shit is crazy here. Like, you can't go anywhere. We just was joking about it on the call. Like, when you walk out the door, it's $100.
Yeah.
I ain't even put the key in the car. It's $100 when you walk out the door. You know how long it take to spend $100 in Colombia? So even if Colombia went to war, I would rather be in Colombia in war than in America with an overhead of $10,000. It's crazy. And this is how you know it's crazy. You drive around Atlanta, everybody got a new car. I ain't seen a car less than 2025. Where y'all getting money from? Nobody
Scamming.
thinking about saving. Everybody's still shopping. Nobody, okay, if you worrying about war, where's your preparation? There's no preparation. So it irritates me that still after all of this, we don't have no common sense. We can't critically think for ourselves. The news still controls everything we think, sleep, and eat. And it's sad because it's generation after generation. Like, my mom was the generation that sat and watched CNN all day. We shouldn't be doing the same thing. Like, we should be critically thinking how to get better. Like, I said this so many times, God. Focus on yourself. Focus on increasing your frequency. Raise your children right. We do not need no more YNs. That is not a name to be glorified about. Like, it's I'm in Atlanta, is it's a music festival here, and Carly B is coming, and people are like taking their kids to this stuff. It's crazy to me. Yet they say, "Oh my God, Colombia is about to go to war." No, y'all at war. Your kids is at war. Like y'all losing y'all generation, like literally, and
Yeah,
it's sad.
we've
It's
been at war for a very long time in the United States. A very long time.
like y'all are dying. Nobody's really making it past 65. The age you're supposed to retire. People are dropping dead here, and y'all talking about war. Like really?
Yeah.
Like I can't wait to get back to Colombia to feel freedom, to feel light again, to feel my energy again. And it's not just Colombia, guys. People are really living around this world. It's not just Colombia, but it's you guys have to really like turn the TV off and really critically think for yourself, figure out how to raise your frequency, figure out how to raise your children the right way, figure out how to lower your overhead, because if we do go to war, then what? Ain't nobody got no money.
Hey Tisha,
Ain't
I
nobody.
just want you to know, "Turn Your TV Off" was an amazing song by none other than Kendrick Lamar. So, shout out.
Oh,
Just wanted to make certain that you knew the Ooh Gang just name
Just so you
drop.
know.
Y'all heard
oh,
it, right? Because I was like, did you just
Turn the
turn the
TV off.
TV off,
Turn
turn the
the TV
TV
off.
off? Okay. I
oh,
mean,
that
the
was that
message
part.
still
I don't know
stands.
nothing about it.
We know what she really feel on the inside. So that's all that
Yes,
matters.
but
Right.
guys, tell me
Nah,
how
you
you guys
you
feel
you
about it.
But
preaching though.
you know, that's just a sign of alignment. That's all it means.
Just
I hope
saying.
so.
Take your
I
take
hope
your
they
owl
turn the
rings off.
TV
It's
off.
time. We got a pair of black Air Force Ones right over here for you. Don't you worry.
Lord.
But seriously, that is real though. So many people are distracted by what it is, and I remember the conversation we all initially had, and as time has gone on, that's why I said on the last one, I said, yo, I kind of understand where you are, because the distraction of all of this right now versus what we actually need to be focused on. It's easy to be distracted at a time where distractions are, I feel like they're at an all-time high consumption of
Mhm.
media and everything else. And watching this, good, you're not doing something that is distracting you, is hopefully being productive to you. But ideally, I think that people need to look into that, because you don't realize how much of a crazy person that somebody in America is. Like, well, what about the safety here? And I'm like, well, things aren't safe in the United States. Now, places will have different levels of safety, but you guys have to understand where it is that you are and what you're dealing with and what you've normalized, and then understand that there may be an opportunity, which we're trying to get discussed here tonight, of what life outside of that looks like, because all of us individually can tell somebody watching this, hey guys, when we go back to the United States, it's real tough. You might be over feel like stimulated by all of the craziness that's going on. You might feel like I said, I was there the other day and I was like, why am I so tired? I gained an extra hour and I'm like exhausted. I'm going to bed at a time I wouldn't go to bed, abroad. But it was because the energy and understanding that, yes, safety is going to be something that you guys are going to think of, but I don't think a lot of people would be considering jumping out of a scenario like the safety net of America to look at other places, and then us being sitting here being able to talk about it. So I just want people to understand that, because a lot of people aren't even realizing that what you are positioning these other countries as, because America told you that it was unsafe there, America's not giving you what it is unsafe that you're dealing with in the United States.
Mhm.
And you mentioned a dollar amount, Tisha, because foreign exchange, the guys at Forex, they were on to something in regards to the dollar amount can go up or down. But here's the thing, if you're going to stop buying a property in a place like Colombia or wherever it is that you're looking, okay, but that is not because the dollar amount should be in a factor. Simply because the United States dollar amount went down 10%, you just staying exactly where you are no matter what. And a lot of people aren't realizing that you're almost scared of what you are willing to accept and is bad, but you're not willing to do anything about it. So I think a lot of people are there right now, and it's time to do something.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mr. Lay, I can see you on my screen, but I can't see you on the feed. Just heads up.
I can.
see it either.
I
I
also
just
think
see.
it's comfortable. They're comfortable, right? You're comfortable because you got a
Hmm.
house that you walk into in America, but you don't see the silent killers. And there are so many silent killers here in the States. Like I was just driving around looking at every few meters, it was a police car pulled somebody over. I never experienced that in Colombia, and I forgot how amazing that feels to not be hunted. Their cars even look like hunting vehicles. My husband was like, "Damn, they look like they nigga shakers." You know, like it was like, and that anxiety came back into me. I'm like, okay, now I gotta watch for police on the highway. In
Yeah.
Atlanta, they get in an accident every 5 minutes, so I gotta watch for somebody hitting me or somebody speeding past me in one of them stupid cars. It was just so much, and I drive in Colombia where it's thousands of motorcycles, buses, cars, and
Right.
I never have that anxiety. It You guys don't realize the level, and I'm not saying everything is so perfect when you leave the United States, but the things that matter for your body, for your mental capacity, for your spirit, for your energy, they are so much better. The food here is horrible. The crime here is horrible. The cost of living here is horrible. Driving is horrible. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to go 20 miles today. Like, that's insanity on your body. Y'all don't even realize what that does to your body and how that takes away your joy from the day, and you doing so many different things. The over sexualization on TV is crazy. It We don't look at those channels living abroad. Do y'all? Like my Netflix then turned to Colombia Netflix, so I don't see all this crime. I don't see like the energy was the main thing I noticed the day I got here. Like how you said, RJ, you were tired. The food makes you tired. As soon as you eat it, you're exhausted. And then an hour later, you're like, well, let's eat again. So I said, okay, we already knew they were tampering with our food, but this is why everybody's so big. Because I eat a full meal and I'm like, okay, well, what's next? Well, what's next? And I never eat like that in Colombia. It's They don't understand the danger they're in, but yet they look at us as if we're in danger. And we're over there just laughing. Like we over
Yeah,
there
I
having a
mean,
good
we out
time.
here living. We're out here living. Um,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to beat up on nobody, but I mean, the quality of life in Colombia is definitely something that, if you're able to, I understand everybody's not able to make that move. If you're able to, if you've been considering leaving the United States, um, and not just Colombia. Colombia is just Colombia. I'm saying Colombia because that's my choice, and all
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
us, that's our choice. But
Mm-hmm.
like literally anywhere, it could be anywhere outside of the United States. When you when you start with the quality of life first. Um, the one thing that I like to talk about in Cali, Colombia, is being able to walk down a city, a concrete jungle, a city of 3 million people, and I compare it to a borough in New York. So I'm from the Bronx, so I compare it to the Bronx. Concrete jungle, you're walking down concrete sidewalks, you have trees. We've got plenty of trees in the Bronx, but none of the trees bear fruit. And just being able to walk down the street and grab a mango or grab canepas. If you're from New York, if you're from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, then you know what canepas are. If you're from Florida, I think Florida, you got a lot of Caribbean people too. Canepas. In Colombia, we call it mamoncillo. Mamoncillo. It's the or
Or
Spanish
Guinness,
lime
they
or
call
something like
it
that.
in some places.
Yeah. So what else? I don't eat these.
Coconuts.
What you say?
Coconuts. You could just
Yeah,
grab it from.
coconut, bananas, plantains, you name it. Like just being able to
You
walk.
name
Just
it.
and for me, when I say quality of life. I'm on the topic of quality of life. Just seeing the fertility in a city, just seeing it does something to me that I can't. It transforms me. It's a transformational thing. Like just seeing it, just knowing when I'm walking down the street that there are actually fruit growing everywhere in every neighborhood. I joke with my daughter.
Mhm.
My daughter, the first time she came to Cali, no, the second time after I got my place in Cali, Colombia, my daughter visited, and we had this big, nice banana tree growing in the street. And she tried to take our bananas, and I'm like, "Hey, yo, you can't do that here." You know what I'm saying? Go home, go to your country, and take bananas off your street. I was
Yeah.
joking, but the fact that we have bananas, we have there's this fruit that I really don't like. It's like a melon, papaya. Papaya
Hmm.
grows anywhere. I don't like papaya, but if you like papaya, Cali is the
It's a
city.
little musty.
It grows everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
on every damn near every corner, you got papaya. But also quality of life. The fact that with whatever you have in your pocket as a U.S. citizen, walking down the street, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Whatever amount
Finally.
of money you have in your pocket is enough. And that finances alone just take off so much stress off your life when you're not thinking about
Yes.
how much something costs. You
Yes.
already
Oh,
know you got it. When I'm
you got
when
it.
I already know I whatever it costs, I got it. I'm not going to spend it, but
Yeah.
I got it. If I
Yeah.
need it, I got it. I got more than enough right here in my pocket. And just that alone, because I think a large percentage of our concerns or our stress is financial.
Hmm.
We gotta work
Yeah.
in the U.S. We gotta work.
You better.
We got. I mean, paying taxes on what you earn, paying taxes on what you spend, what you buy, having insurance. Everything has to be
Income
insured.
tax.
Yo, and I'm
I
not
mean,
trying to take up all the time here,
mhm.
but the quality of life is something to consider.
Yeah.
It's a major factor in my decision. I'm sure, my fellow panelists can tell you quality of life. Like
Period.
going to the dentist, having to get a medical checkup and knowing that it's in my pocket, having to get
Yeah.
an X-ray. I went to the dentist. The first time I went to the dentist, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you got to get an X-ray. Go down and get an X-ray." The X-ray cost me $6.
Yeah. It's
Six
amazing.
dollars. So I mean, listen, quality of life. That's what I'm going to say. Quality of life. And if you want to know whatever quality of life is to you, ask us.
Mhm.
Ask us if it applies here
That.
specifically. Whatever you need to know specifically, ask. Any one of
You
these
don't even know.
ladies, any RJ, myself, can tell you anything you need to know. Whatever applies to you, whatever you need, make sure you ask. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be Colombia. It can be anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. But once you leave the United States, even in Mexico, Brazil, I'll be in Brazil in about a week and a half. Living, I'll be, Morocco, Spain, Portugal. Anywhere you go outside the US,
Yeah.
the quality of life.
Mhm.
Nobody feels privileged in America, and that's there is a privilege when you get out of the United States, but it's honestly not something you can cash any value in on by living there. And a lot of people are asking, well, how much money do I live? So I think that keeps coming up. I keep seeing that in the chats. I know Akeem is in a lot of the same chats.
Yeah.
Can I live abroad with $30,000? Can I live abroad making $20,000? And I would say depending on where you are, but
Yeah.
yes, most of the place, a lot of these places, and that's why people hear it. Americans hear like, oh, Americans are the richest country in the world. Even the poorest American is still richer across the world, and it's like you don't really understand that is actual true because $20,000 or $30,000, especially in a major city in the United States, might not really
Come
do
to
a lot.
Cali. Come to
But
Cali.
in and though in other places, like I told you, Colombia's digital nomad visa, they want you to show that you make $1,100. Let's just call it $1,000. $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 annual a year. Anybody that is making that in the United States is going to be out of a home. They're going to have a hard time even eating. Yet you do the math on what $7.25 get you, what federal minimum wage can get you, and that's $7.25. And I'm saying, hey, that you're going to find a remote job that's paying federal minimum wage, but I'm just trying to get people to understand that these numbers that people may have when they're looking to move abroad, it's a lot more doable life abroad, and that's why these conversations and kind of bringing you guys behind the wizard's curtain and understanding like, yes, it costs a hell of a lot to maintain a basic life in the United States. But abroad, what you're
Yes.
finding is because everybody's like, yo, don't half my problem is how much money I have or don't have. Well, if you're able to just afford certain things, never mind what Akeem's talking about, because Akeem, you pointed out something where the fruit is growing on trees, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember this conversation, but for anybody that's new here, there's a reason why fruit doesn't grow on trees in the United States, because food is
Purposely.
profit.
That's right.
So the reason why everybody's allergies are messed up for any of my botany folks that are out there is because they are planting nothing but male plants. You need a male and a female to come together and deliver a fruit. But if they are not going to try to charge you for grapes, strawberries, whatever could naturally grow in whatever city you are in America, they said, nah, 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 nah. Take Atlanta, take DC. There's a certain time of the year where the entire city is covered in pollen. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
That's
Yeah.
But the
right.
reason why is because
Yes.
they keep planting male trees because capitalism is killing you. And there's
Yeah.
opportunity
Exactly.
where places where y'all like third world country, and it's like, but bro, they care if people, one, eat good food, two,
Period.
get sick and can afford to get better, three, can read. I don't know. America's
You,
PR team is such a great team as far as who they have
I'm
dressed up
telling you,
as successful and rich, because none of the things that measure success in my lot show America as successful and rich. A population that can't afford to get sick, can't afford to get better, a population that can't afford to eat the food because it's going to lead them into the healthcare scenario, population that can't
Hmm.
go outside, take their kids to school, go to a grocery
No.
store. All of these things are just bare necessity stuff that we're talking about, guys. Yet so many people are coming and asking me, are you
Yo,
okay over
imagine.
there? The question should be, are y'all okay
Y'all
over
okay?
there,
Yeah.
in there,
Imagine,
under there?
imagine this: not having the health insurance to cover you for the food that you eat.
That part.
for the access to food that you have, right? Like
For the
even for the for how expensive it is. Like my first day in New
Hold on,
York, actually, well, first of all,
Woo!
my first day, oh my God, I had a meal for two people. It was over $100, and I was like,
Yes.
y'all paying this? And it wasn't like some fancy, dinner or nothing like that. And I was like, dang, like just to think how expensive things are, but that, still that was like a specialty, like it was Ethiopian food and it shouldn't have been. I'm like, I should have went to the hood. I
Ethiopian food for two
should have
hundred
found out.
dollars.
Huh?
Yes.
So
Ethiopian
Yes.
food ain't even $200 in Ethiopia.
exactly. And I lived there. I used to live in Ethiopia. So I'm like, what the heck? But anyway, I was like,
I
besides
didn't
that
know
though, it
about
was
a
like every
fine
time,
5-star.
it was like
Okay.
every time, going out to eat, it was like, dang, like how much is it really? So really when you try to save money, that means you're eating a lower quality stuff or things that are not as healthy. So it is contributing to bad health, which if you
Right,
continue bad health
right.
habits, then
It's
that
a
means you're going
cycle.
to be sick and you can't. Yeah, so it's like, that is a whole thing, that conversation of being able to pick fruit and seeing fruit and things, and food grow on the, on this earth as it was
It
intended to.
should.
Yeah,
It was
It was
intended
supposed
to.
yeah.
to in the
As
first
it was
place, right?
intended to.
And so I remember even
The
like from living
controversy.
any place that I've ever lived, um, I've always experienced that. I've always seen that. Like if there is fruit growing or food growing, like people have access to that. It wasn't like outlawed. They're not purposely, tearing down produce to be able to sell it to you when it's actually growing there for free.
For
Like
free.
it's
Hmm.
such a selfish thing. And actually I brought up this topic to some students. I teach English, right? And so I talked to my students about this topic about capitalism versus like ideas of socialism and stuff like that. Like we discuss these things because what I believe is that we need to, in this transformation, is to reimagine certain systems because capitalism is not it. The way that this is turning out for everybody. Like, and it's not, I think what people do, people shy away or really straight up reject other ideas because of bad examples in the past, right? But look at the current
Yeah.
reality in this system of capitalism and all of these places that we're from, that we live in. And look, there are poor people, there are people like without, there are people dying, there, you know what I mean? So it's like when I
Because I
say
look.
like reimagine something like socialist ideas, is like people should have access to food, to shelter, to education, like some basic things, to medical care. People should have basic needs met. Like, this really makes no sense. And if we change our minds, I
You're
think
not
also
saying
the
anything
thing with money,
outrageous.
like that's what I'm saying. It's like we're not saying that like you shouldn't be able to reach for the stars, you know what I mean, to have whatever. Because I think people look at those examples of like nobody's able to get rich, nobody's able to, if you're a doctor, you're gonna make the same salary as somebody who's a whatever profession, right? Like as a store clerk or
Hmm,
something
hmm,
like that. But the thing is like I think there are some elements that we can take from our modern society that are good, obviously, right? Because we're not saying that making money is bad, but people should not have to be starving while you have very few ultra rich who are controlling everything. That's the thing. Is like we're coming from a government, from a place where the ultra rich are also controlling what the rest of the population has access to, which is completely backwards. So I am not for this system. I'm like, we need a whole new
A
reimagining
reset.
of what will work. Yeah. So because this
This
is not
whole place.
That's the thing, though. There's no center line on any of this stuff because we want the ability to have free market ability to work hard and be awarded for it, at the same time being able to take care of people just from a basic level, because oftentimes people forget that we're just on this world to be with each other. So if somebody can't eat, like if somebody doesn't have a house, like come on, like that doesn't make any sense. But and I was having this conversation, it's like a blue you need to be this way, a red you need to be this way, and it's like a lot of people are looking for the center line, which is like, can we just get a little bit of something and a little bit of something to make sense of this? Not a far left or far right, whereas there's no incentivization for people to work hard, or if you don't work hard then you have nothing at all and you're just bare ass out here. And it's like a lot more people are coming to that conclusion. Like, we need to try to figure out some sort of center line, because no one wants to take anybody's ability to say, hey, I work hard, so I'm able to get or afford these things. That's not what anybody's doing. But you look around across the world and you see other countries with the third world marker at least just caring a lot more about their citizens than America does about its own citizens. Like, it's
Mhm.
absolutely outrageous,
I don't
and
yeah.
more people are looking into life abroad. My bad.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I
Ishla.
thought you were ending. Sorry. No, but that's the thing. I think, America, the US being is run, it's a business, right? So it's like we are not
Hmm.
seen as citizens. Like, that's, we
No.
look at the evidence. We're not from
Employees.
early on. It was considered like, even when you people want to talk about the Constitution, all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, we need to hold them to their word, right? Even though we weren't the ones that they were talking about being included, right? You know what I mean? Like, our ancestors here were not the ones who were considered during, the establishment of these things, but still, we should take their make them hold their word to it. But I think that, looking when you actually look at it, like how the US is run like a business, look at our school system, the same as the prison system. Like, we're talking about the setups, we're talking like the physical places, how is run. You run on a bell system, you run on is it strict, in line, single file, right? You do, and it's pumping you into going like from your education, right? Because if it's really that, like our public education that everybody should have access to, why are we not learning more essential skills, things that will teach you about a productive life, right? So we already know this is our school system was built to produce workers, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And to produce people who are obedient. Look at it's the same system. Literally, you look from education to certain jobs, you know what I mean, where you own a line, factory jobs and stuff like that, to in the prison. Like, it's the same system. They want to also wear you down so that you're too tired to fight. They want to keep you sick, fatten you up so that you too sick and tired to fight. Like, that only makes sense. This is what control is.
So please, guys, if you everybody that's listening, what we were trying to really explain to you, why you think we're living in a third world country and we uprooted from America the Great to a third world country, you guys are now the third world country. And if you don't see that now, then there's nothing any one of us can say for you guys to understand. Because just like Michelle said, they was building the kids up to be workers. Now they realize these YNs ain't gonna work. And so that's why these robots is coming into play. So then what is everybody going to do? What is your plan? What is your plan when it's continue to lay off more and more and more people? What is your plan? Why are you talking
Listen,
about, oh my God, is Colombia going to war? You should be trying to get the hell out of America before they say y'all can't leave, because they need y'all here to continue to pay for these roads and continue to fatten up their pockets and continue to make sure their kids go to these schools, and they continue to control y'all while y'all sitting up there thinking we're in danger. That is what we mean when we say use common sense. Start thinking outside the box. Turn off the news so you can understand what's happening. You can take a deep breath and look at the playing field and see, like, okay, I think I'm being set up here, and figure out what your options are. That's all we all did. We all said something got to be better than this. We're no better than y'all. We just made the decision before you guys did. Thank God. I'm so grateful I left here 4 years ago. Like, I couldn't imagine still going through breathing this air, eating this food, all this stress, paying all them damn
Preach.
bills. And it's not that we don't have it. It's not like, oh, we come into America talking about, oh, it's too expensive. It's too expensive because it should not be. It should
because it don't
not
make sense.
be.
It
It
don't make
does
sense
not
to do
make
that.
sense. The fact that
Yeah.
Hakeem said we can walk down the street and grab fruit and it's free, it's literally free, y'all. But we live in America, the land of the free, and you got
Yeah,
to pay for everything, every
everything.
Everything.
single thing. There's people living on the streets. It doesn't make sense when we're paying taxes. We're paying taxes in the paycheck. We're paying taxes when we buy something. If you own a business, you got to pay taxes on the money you paying employees. It's taxes, taxes after taxes. Where is the money going? Where is it
That was the
going?
question I was thinking. I'm like, look at the things, even in a place where you're not able to even control where your tax dollars are being spent. People, they love to cause these distractions and make it about people who are on government assistance. First of all, you talking about people feeding themselves, like people buying food items. First of all, food items, right? Because it's so much stuff, processed stuff. But people like feeding themselves. Like, so what if somebody buy a pack of cookies on using EBT or something like that? Like, why are y'all talking? We're talking about basic rights that people should have, but what we're not seeing is how much of our tax or your tax dollar, because I ain't, how much
Me
of
neither.
our tax dollars are paying for stuff, for wars that you don't. Do you even agree with these wars? Do you agree with all of these
Yeah.
things that are happening? Ballrooms being built, like all kind of like ridiculous
They
stuff.
finance services that they don't give their own citizens for other countries.
Country.
That is the craziest
Okay.
thing I've ever seen in my life. Like healthcare and like a basic income. You'd be surprised what's under the hood in some of these donations when you see like, wait, so I just need to move there and then the rest of the world have American citizenship. They don't realize that they're shipping all these goods to
We losing you, RJ.
Okay, I thought it was me. I was
We losing you. But guys, we don't mean to be so aggressive, but it's like it gets annoying when people call you and say certain things, and we just want our people to wake up. Literally, we do this podcast to show you guys there's another way. We do this podcast to show you the way we're living here is not. It's not right. It's not right. We can hear you again.
And I think the bottom line too, like actionable things, because I don't want people to be so afraid. And like, I mean, you need to realize you are in a burning building, right? Like
Yeah.
this, the US is a burning building. Like, listen, our ancestors told us that a long time ago. But the thing is like, we wondering like what to do now. Well, what do I do? There are people with mobility issues, people who literally don't have enough money to feed themselves. How they gonna buy a plane ticket? How they gonna move? You know what I mean? So it's like that we know the reality, and there are people who don't want to move either, right? But what we need to realize is that it's time to start reimagining again, realizing what it is. I think the situation is serious. So it's like take
Mm.
heed to what we are saying. It is still serious, but start thinking of solutions. Like, first of all, work internally, work on yourself as an individual, and build a community. Like, who says you
Mhm.
live in a capitalist society, but if you can't eat, if people around you cannot eat, we need more community gardens, more community like working together, doing things. Like, there are things that we can actually do. And I think this is the time, more than ever, like for people to really start like, stop falling for the divide and conquer tactics. They got you hating
Yes.
other people who don't have the same rights that you don't have or whatever. They got y'all fighting each other instead of thinking to work with each other. And that's what happened, is rinse and repeat. Divide and conquer has always worked. It's rinse and repeat. Stop falling for it, please.
Yes. The news is so predictable now. It's like once you leave, I mean, even when we were here, we saw it. That's why we left, right? But once you leave, now you can just see the play. Like it's
Mhm.
Colombia this month, next month it's gonna be another city. I think
Listen,
today he said something about another place today. Like so, guys, stop falling for the clickbait. My last thing on this topic is figure out how to lower your bills. None of us know what's to come. Get somewhere where you it's manageable and you can have a better quality of life. That's all it is. Everybody who's still in America is just stuck on convenience. And I
yeah.
keep telling you guys, convenience is a prison. Convenience is a prison. The more you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, the more you'll become free. If you stuck on having these conveniences, you will be in prison here in America, and you're gonna be paying top dollar for it. That's
Mhm.
all that. Seriously,
Get rid of all of that stuff. Get
get
rid of
rid
all
of
of
all
that
that
stuff so it
stuff.
don't keep you stuck.
It keeps you stuck, y'all. I'm telling you, when I gave away everything in my house, it was the most freeing thing that I've ever done in my life. When I stopped being a consumer, living abroad, you're not even pushed on holidays like everybody here worrying about Christmas. That ain't even in our forefront when you live abroad. You live, like literally you live. So if again any of my people listening, if y'all calling me talking about something is Colombia, say I'm gonna stop ignoring y'all, because those type of people and that mindset I don't have no space for. I don't have no energy, because it tells me a lot about what you've done on yourself, what your mental capacity is about, and I can't lower my frequency to meet you. You got to come where I am for us to even connect. So you guys got to be critical thinkers. You got to look past this news because it's clickbait. It's they're storing your energy, siphoning your energy. Every single day is something else. So turn the shit off. Turn it off
Turn the
Turn the
and
TV
TV
stop
off.
off.
Turn the
calling.
TV off. Turn the TV off.
Turn
Turn the
TV off.
TV off.
That's the only time I've seen Kendrick Lamar. Don't ever do it to me again.
You didn't even know you was doing it, so I don't believe you.
But
Yo,
yes, yes.
y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, nah, that's real. Cause I know safety was been on. Somebody asked in the chat, what's your opinion on safety in Cali? But we're kind of talking about it in general. The idea of safety is it's coming from an American lens that does value.
Does somebody really want an answer to that question?
Give it to
I'm
them.
not that I just got so
I
bad I was
thought
about to disconnect.
listen. This is the answer across the board. This is always going to be the answer. It's safer than your city. That's it. It's safe
Safer than
wherever
here.
you
We
are
are
now.
hunting y'all.
Wherever you are now, I don't even know where you are, but I'm safer in Cali than you are in your city.
This is
Well,
craziness.
nah, I get it though. You know, because everybody that, especially for people that haven't left, you know, they can only go off of what somebody else has told them, and which is why. And I sent you guys that earlier. I was like, do you really know how many people are looking to move abroad and have never visited where they're going? And I just said the stories that are coming out are bad, and
Yeah,
I don't want people to hear this and then make a knee jerk reaction either.
that's true.
Because understanding where you're going, visiting, having I would say start where you can. But to think that you're going to go from never visiting Colombia and then automatically living here and getting right to a good time, you're going to have a hard time anywhere. And a lot of people are, I think the one thing I saw, the lady moved out there with the kid, paid 9 months of rent up front. I'm like, even $800 at nine months is $7,200 at one time. Like, ain't that a lot of money to be giving somebody that you don't
That you
know?
don't know.
But
Yeah.
And who is doing that?
a lot of people, Tisha, a lot
I
of
know,
people.
but I'm just saying. I'm saying who would do that? That's why you have to have somebody on the
That's
ground like
why.
us.
That's
Yeah.
why we want to bring that to light, because I don't want people, even if you don't even happen to go through us, wherever it is, I just want the message of like knowing how to get these resources, knowing that you are going to need resources. People, I see people saying you don't need an expert, you could just ask Chat GPT. And I'm like, my issue with this is this. And I said this to a person today. If you don't know the right answer, ChatGPT will give you an eloquent wrong answer. And you have no way to determine whether or not it's real. And then you basing a life choice off of information that you can dictate. Because it says in those little fine print, we might make errors. But how do you know if it's an error if it's constructed in the most eloquent way ever that looks like a right answer? So actually going through somebody that knows is going to save you a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah. Perfect example. I got somebody coming out in February who has tried and applied for visas on their own, and they've made errors and have to keep going back. And one of the things that one of the things that all of us were intentional about is making sure that you sit in front of a professional, an immigration lawyer. Like we have an immigration lawyer on staff to give you the up-to-date information. Because I'll tell you this, I used a lawyer in Cali maybe 3 years ago who wasn't an immigration lawyer, so they weren't up to date on the law changes. And even that was an issue because he was right in the old administration, but in
Yep.
the new in the new administration,
Change.
there was a new, there were new rules, new regulations. So um, it didn't work out, and we ended up having to get a lawyer who was specific to immigration law and visa policy. So that's what
Mhm.
these are things that are necessary. I know there are some things, some of you, not saying you're not smart enough to do it on your own, but trust me, there are situations where it costs to do it over and over and over again. Somebody told me, a wise man told me, you're going to pay, whether you pay for your mistake or you pay for somebody else's knowledge, you have to pay. So I don't want to pay for my mistake. I don't want to do it over. I don't want to keep doing it until I get it right. In situations like this, when money is
Mhm.
involved, I want to pay one time and get it right. So, and I'm
Cut and
not
dry.
going to deter anybody from the process, but I want you to be equipped when you enter the process. When you enter the ring to fight the dragon, make sure you got the proper armor and you got the proper weapon. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out there to a shootout with a butter knife. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have somebody who can help you, an expert. Immigration law is not something that you want to run through Chat GPT or You don't want to play those games. Trust me.
It changes too quickly.
Trust me, because as much as I love Colombia, it is not a user-friendly process, and I'm sure it's like that across the world. It is not a user-friendly process.
It varies.
Having to
Some are
do,
easy.
having to go from this line to that line to get this sign, and then go back and get that, have somebody look at it, and somebody else come and sign it again. Nah,
That's what you got to do when you get your
no,
cedula. They just have you
no,
running
no.
around the office taking pictures and like getting
Back and
stuff to
Yeah.
forth.
sign like all
So
day. It's like
I'm
and
telling you,
they just point like go that way.
for those of you who are
You be on the other
serious
end like
about relocating, make sure you relocate with a professional. And yeah, we're in Colombia, and we have the we got it on lock. We got it on smash in Colombia. I'm talking like Donald Trump now. Yeah, we got it. We're the best.
But but
We're
the
the
pick
nobody who's ever done it has done it like us. No, but honestly, where in whatever country you go to, find professionals, find people who are well versed in immigration law. Immigration
I have a
law.
caveat to that, Akeem, because I won't even handle clients who went to certain attorneys. I won't even, because what's happening is we say immigration law, and then people are just looking up attorneys who don't even do visas on a regular. And so many of my clients will come to me and have went to an attorney and their visa was declined, and I won't even work with them after that, because you it's not just that it has to be a lawyer, it has to be somebody who is doing this every single day, every month,
Exactly.
because the rules change. So guys, please hear us when we say this. It cannot just be an attorney who's just trying to get your money. Okay, it has to be somebody who is doing visas consecutively and consistently, because the rules change. And I want to piggyback off something RJ said, because we're in these chats and we see so many people saying, I moved abroad and I had a horrible time, or I moved my family to Morocco, or I moved my family to
Hey,
here,
hey, hey,
and
hey,
I
easy.
never visited
Hey,
any of
easy
these
on that.
places. It does not make any sense. Here's what I always see. People are picking up and moving to places that got beautiful Instagram photo options, and they have no clue the cost of living. They have no clue of the school system. They have no clue of the expat life that's there. I'm seeing so many people now and how much they hate Thailand, but yet 6 months ago Thailand was a hot pocket. It was, oh, everybody come to Thailand, Thailand, Thailand. And people actually picked up, never been there before for that 20 some hour flight, never been there before, moved all the way over there, and then realized most of those $300 and $400 rent was in the outskirts. Now you're far away from everybody, because really, if you got children, you don't want to be in that inner city with them thousands of motorcycles. So if we can't say this enough, guys, you got to make it make sense, right? There are certain places I have the money, but there are certain places I'm not moving to because the cost of living is similar to America. So
Nah,
y'all picking up, moving to Spain, and you paying the same damn prices you was paying in America. Don't make sense. So then you get online and say, "Oh, I'm having a horrible time in Spain. It wasn't what everybody said." No, you didn't do your research. You didn't. None of this makes any
who did
sense.
you ask besides
no,
Who did you
ChatGPT,
talk
no.
to over
You
there?
know what they
Claude,
did? You know what they did?
Gemini?
You know what they did? They saw that one apartment for $300, but they didn't consider utilities. They didn't consider community. Remember we were talking about community earlier this week.
Yeah.
There's somebody in Portugal, I read, is out there and they're living well with their children,
Mhm.
but they have not been able to integrate into the community.
Yep,
And
I
so
saw
these
that.
are things you have got to do, you know. Yes, it might be inexpensive. Yes, it might be beautiful, sunshine, great weather, and things like that. But you have to make sure the place checks all of your boxes. If you are a community person, if you're extroverted, but you don't speak the local language, these are things you have to take into
Right.
consideration. Now, I'll tell you one thing, and not just because I live in Colombia, but because I live in Colombia. You will find if you are a black person, I'm not even going to use the term person of color. I'm talking to black
Mhm.
people. If you want black community, find places like Colombia, Mexico, Lisbon, Portugal. Like those are the Panama City. Those are like the top cities for black people who left the United States. Those are the top cities. Why?
Check the cost of living.
Because
Check
well,
the cost of living.
because of the cost of living. The cost of living is one thing, but community is the second thing. They have strong black expat or immigrant communities. So these are things that you have to take into consideration, especially when you're going to a place where you don't speak the local language. Make sure that you are integrating into a community that can help you transition, help you with your language learning, help you with your money conversion,
Immersion.
uh, help you get acclimated to the culture. Those are the
Mhm.
things. Those are the top things. If you're an introvert like me, then you do good anywhere in the world. But if you're a person with children, small children or teenagers,
Oh my God.
consider what your children need
Can
as
I?
far as community goes. Don't just go somewhere because it's cheap. Make sure
Right.
you consider what your children need as far as community, education, um, easy access to extracurricular activities and things like that. And I'm just going to put it out there: Colombia is the number one place.
Mm.
Whether
Period.
it's Medellin, Santa Marta, Cartagena, Cali, Colombia is the number one place. But Playa del Carmen, I'm going to throw in an honorable mention. Playa del Carmen is the Mexican version of Atlanta.
And maybe Mexico
That's why I
City,
got
but
this
it's
green wall
expensive.
behind me. That's why I got this
Huh?
green grass. I got this green wall behind me because I'm trying to give Atlanta vibes. You know what I
No,
mean?
well, I say Playa del Carmen because Playa del Carmen is one of the few places I've been outside of the United States where I've seen black people frolicking, black people on skates, black people
Mm-hmm.
jogging, black people on bicycles, black people just living, not existing,
Living.
not just alive, but living, thriving in Playa del Carmen. So that's places like that. Those are places you want to find if you need community. Don't just go somewhere and be like, oh, it's inexpensive. It might check one. Make sure it checks more than one box. That's all I got to say. Make sure it
Yeah.
checks more than one
That
box.
that was such a good point that you brought up as far as like with the children. I have heard that. I've met so many people who will move with with their child, right? Child or children.
Yeah,
And you don't really consider, what some people don't consider, like homeschooling is not just going to be enough. Like we are social beings too.
right.
You know what I mean? And so like for yourself, we talked a couple episodes ago, we talked about finding things like, there are plenty of leisure things to do, you know what I mean? Or like fitness things, you know what I mean? Like this is a place also where they're big on like health and family time and stuff like that. So we have
Yes,
things like ciclovia, right? Where you can go out and walk.
Mm-hmm.
I live in an area where it's the stadium, and it's different. It's I learned how to swim there. Well, yeah, I took swim lessons and stuff there. They have like 8 Olympic pools. They have basketball courts and tennis courts and stuff
In
like
a
that. I go
third world country?
I go up there play tennis.
What?
I go skate. Like it's people out in the
What?
street, working
that's
out,
what I'm
doing
saying.
things
In
like
Colombia,
that. Listen,
What?
okay, we got skate clubs, you know what I mean, all kind of stuff. So it's like there you got to find things that bring you joy, and
Mm-hmm.
things that fit in with your lifestyle, right? The same thing with your child. Like if you think about, like, a place like this is cool. Like our expat community is popping here, you know what I mean? That's one special
yes,
thing. And this is from a person who, before I moved here, I had been living abroad for over 10 years. So like when I came here, I was able to see the difference of like, oh my God, like it's already kind of set up. And then I became another addition, like another person who hosts events and hosts things, gatherings for people to build community too. But like this
Mhm.
was not always the norm. So it's like, if you think as an adult, you can have a popping social life. However, consider, like, have you considered meeting up, like figuring out what the situation is? Like, are there other children? Are there other children around your child's or children's ages? Like, would your child have community, have access to things like, like, well, look at what the schools are. They will have access. You know what I mean? Like everywhere they have schools, kids go to school, but there are people like, you don't consider maybe even putting your child in language classes or having them, for them to have a life to build,
Absolutely.
what I mean, for themselves. Like so many factors are involved with this.
Nah,
Yeah.
So we say
Kelly,
all that to say, do your research, guys. Reach out to somebody on the ground, because a lot of that stuff we are going to do that for you. The
Yeah.
immersion happens for you. The school tours happens for through
Right.
us for you. The connections to other expats. You guys are trying to avoid coming to us because we're going to charge. Yes, we charge for our knowledge. And
Mhm.
then you get here, you have a horrible time. And so,
Right.
and then you're running in chats doing anonymous posts saying this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened. No, you did that to yourself. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm at with it now. I'm not even giving grace anymore because it doesn't make sense.
So
People
when
are
you're
moving to
ready. Mm-hmm.
yeah, people are moving to places and don't even know the airport name. People are moving to places and don't know what the currency amount is. People moving to places and don't even have apps
Yeah.
on their phone. Like
Yeah.
y'all
Right.
moving to places
Exactly.
sight
Don't know the
unseen. I
language. Don't
came
know the
to
culture.
Colombia prior to moving abroad because it made
Yeah.
more sense. I also paid somebody prior to coming. You cannot, like Michelle has lived in Ethiopia, I think. I would never live there. Also, stop going to places just because other people are going there. You need to figure out what you align with. I
He
would
said,
never
I
live
would
in,
never
what the
live there.
hell? That doesn't make
But
sense to
hold
me.
on,
You
hold
know,
on,
He
hold
said, I
on.
know, right?
it would
I don't
no
know how
for
to take
me.
that. I don't know how
For
to take that.
me.
She said,
Right,
oh,
I get
man.
it. I get
You
it.
get what I'm saying? But
Right.
people are just hopping on the bandwagon and just going different places,
Like you
and it
don't
don't make
even know
sense.
if you like it.
yep, funny.
It's
Yeah,
people.
I see a
There
lot
are
of
She
people
said,
people
I
that
living
would
in
are
never live
Africa
there.
like, this
and
is the
having bad
thing.
experiences.
This is
I
the
looked
thing.
up
Even
Africa before I went to Colombia. I knew Africa. I wasn't ready for Africa. I wasn't ready for the traffic. I
Now
wasn't
don't
say
say
for
Africa, because
right, it's
Africa.
a
there are
whole
some
big
countries in
Af-
Africa that have better infrastructure than the
that.
United States.
All right.
Yeah, hold on. Akeem, I will say they have better infrastructure, but not of the whole of it. There's city centers, and then there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of different things. I do a lot of research, so I'm saying this to say is stop jumping on bandwagons, guys. Do
Mm-hmm.
your
your,
research.
your
Reach
knowledge.
to
Yeah.
people. Reach out
Do
to
your due
people who are
diligence.
on the ground and not just traveling. Not your friend who just went over to a place for 2 weeks and now you like, well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go over there. Or you went to Jamaica for a weekend. Now you like, I'm gonna go move into Jamaica. No,
Y'all ain't me.
no, man.
Okay, y'all are not
Yeah.
me. This is what y'all need to
No.
understand. Y'all not me. Okay, I can go and do that. I've done that, but y'all ain't me. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. No,
But
but
you
that
know,
is a real thing. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? You
yeah,
have to
yeah.
do your due diligence. But I think we need a shameless plug of these relocation tours and all of these service that we all offer,
Oh,
because the people
factual,
need to know.
actual factual.
Listen, the
Yes.
people need to know, because I know for a fact you go to Rotisha's World and you have the school tours. You have things like that, you know what I mean, that are already set up. You go to moodtravel.com and you see tours and things already set up. You see where
Yeah.
you can find accommodations. You see where you can go on a, figure out how to go shopping like a local. You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
have all of these very practical things, so we have the knowledge and the experience for people to actually make a move. So I think also, Tisha, you were talking about,
Hold on,
like
hold on,
just
hold
not
on, hold on, hold
certain
on.
folks. But I think,
And Live Be
mhm.
Do. You can go to Live Be
Of
Do.
course, sorry, my bad. I was
You
just
can go
going
to
live
Live Be
me
Do
do.
and you can live
And
in
move
Cali
somewhere
for
else.
up to a month.
Yes, you can live like a local.
www.livebedo.com.
Mhm.
Hold
Come
on.
check
See, I
it
was
It's
out.
trying to. I
2025.
was
You do
supposed to
not
plug
have to
that
say
when I said shop like a
www.
local, and I meant to say live like a local too.
Live like a
But
local,
yeah,
baby. No, I got
but
you.
you're
I
gonna
got you. I'm gonna
find.
show you.
But we want to deal with people. I'm here. But we want to deal with people who are serious about it as well, right? Who gonna do their due diligence, because we've done the research. You know what I mean? We've done.
Exactly.
We're on the ground. we are doing the work, so it makes it so much easier. I'm going to say it one more time because I've said it before. Like when I first moved abroad over 13 years ago, we didn't have all of this. You know what I mean? So it's like we have the knowledge, we're setting it up in systems and putting it, packaging it up for you to actually take those steps. And like seeing how it's very real. So like the virtual relocation tours and stuff that's been happening. I think, listen, you're gonna spend that money in Miami for bike week. You're gonna spend that money in Vegas for whatever. You're gonna make an investment if you're serious, okay, to gain the knowledge that you need. If you're
And
serious
we
about
make it affordable.
that's what I'm saying. It's not even like you spending more.
We don't
But
do nothing.
you're
It's just
saving more.
already affordable.
We no, but think about it, right? Because typically you will have to fly to that country to see what's happening. We
Yeah.
Nah, that's
complete
true.
virtual tours for you guys. We have a
Yes.
virtual tour coming up next month that features not just Colombia, not just Mexico, parts of Africa. Correct me, am I wrong, RJ? We're
Panama.
bringing it to you, Panama, virtually, so you don't have to get on a flight. Come over
Yes.
there and see for your person. You're gonna hear from, I think it's like 12 of us on that panel that you're going to get this information from. So it's no more excuses. I think this week we saw so many texts in the different chats of people having horrible times. So that's why we're talking so passionately about this, guys. You can't get on here and bash a country and you didn't do your research. That's just
Right.
my humble opinion. And we just need to make it make sense. Know what the dollar is, where you're going. Don't try to escape from America with the US dollar and go somewhere else with the US dollar. That doesn't, it don't align. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Or go somewhere so far away, it takes you 20 hours to get back. And then the second piece caveat to it, if you know you're going to stay somewhere long term, know what the visa requirements are in that country before going. Because you guys hopped, you see a lot of influencers are leaving Thailand now because that visa is not cheap. It's $15,000 you have to show on your account. That 5-year visa. They just keep saying, come to Thailand, get that 5-year visa, but they don't tell you every year you got to leave for 6 months. So where are you going to go for 6 months with your whole family to Thailand? That's what we mean when we say do the research. The same thing for Spain. That's $32,000 you got to show to get that visa. But you guys are not doing your research. You're like, I'm going to go to Spain, eat some croissants and drink some wine and walk on the cobblestone streets. And in 6 months, your ass gonna be back home. Like seriously. Like
This
y'all,
is
we
true.
we've been real nice on these podcasts. It's time to like really like tell the truth
She's
because
turning heel right in front of
I
our
like that.
eyes.
I like that you said
She's
tell the
turning
truth. That's
heel right in front of our eyes.
and
no,
y'all know I'm in
that's
America, so
serious
the
business.
energy is really aggressive. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm
She's
not.
like, we gotta get out of here, y'all. She went back for you. She Harriet Tubman right now, okay? She one of my favorite ancestors. She said, I am here and I'm trying
No,
to
that's
bring you
real.
back.
Yes,
You know,
yes. So
the
guys,
this thing is about probability and the opportunity to increase the probability of somebody moving abroad and having success. You know, I don't think people are realizing that this is a probability thing and that so many people are doing teachers like to say like low frequency stuff. You're going low probability things, you know, going
Mhm.
abroad and giving a stranger 10 months of rent up front because that's what he told you to get that perfect house and then saying I got scammed. I'm not giving
No,
anybody
you
10
scammed
months of
yourself.
anything up front. You know, our best recommendation is not to do those things. The going somewhere where you are sold by a $300, like Tisha says, chasing cheap. And then getting over there after selling everything, bringing your kid, trying to get acclimated, realizing that there's nobody around you where this $300 villa is. And, you know, you can be anonymous. You can say, hey, this is me. I did it. Even somebody I saw the other day, and I said, okay, this is getting outrageous because these are the people that would be on CNN when something is wrong, and we will be saying, how do we get so and so back home? Somebody was in the chat and said, hey, I moved to a place in Egypt because there's a beach town, but I didn't realize that Egypt was a Muslim country.
Oh my God. And as
These are things that are actually happening. Depending on where you see your information, you might say, I don't know, that's probably sounds outrageous. But I saw it with my own two eyes with pictures to prove it. And I say, maybe that worked for that person. But the probability of success when doing things that are low probability are extremely low. And remember that the internet is not your life. Just because somebody won the lotto in your city today does not mean that you can go and win a lotto ticket tomorrow. Take that same concept and put it into the reality of you moving abroad versus what you see on the internet versus the reality of what you have to do to prepare yourself before you go. Do the research, work with the people and the things that you
Please.
need to increase the probability of your success. And then once you actually get on the other side, having enough of your drawbridge low enough to receive what the world now has to offer you, because I don't think a lot of people realize that you got to get on the other side, but once you do, you still got to do a lot of processing outside of just the foundational and fundamental things that relocation experts can bring together. So it is
Mhm.
about the foundational and fundamental pieces, but me, Tisha, Akeem, nor Michelet can actually go into these rooms for you. We can open the door, but you got to walk through the door, the actual door, and do this stuff. So I
Mhm.
appreciate y'all bringing light to, these relocation tours. I know each of us has put a lot of time into this and reaching back into our individual communities, coming together like the Super Friends and building a platform that allows people to go into one place and walk out of a room with all of the information that they need versus all of us had to piece this together over years. We're giving people the
Mhm.
blueprint to be able to take that hassle out and actually increase the probability of them having success. That is why we may come
Mhm.
off a little bit more passionate than other people do, because trust me, the people that have gone and had a bad time, none of them have come across our doorstep. None of them have
None of
affected anything that has to do with our lives at all. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we don't care. It doesn't mean that we don't realize that so many other could fall in between their footsteps, because unfortunately, until you guys make us go viral, those are the things going viral. So
yeah.
you need, so you
Yeah.
got to realize this conversation and these conversations are designed for one. If it's not for you, to share it with somebody that needs to hear it, to that is
Yeah.
looking to move abroad, that can understand that, hey, it's going to take us, the village, the community, the hookup, to actually be guided through this process of, hey, you're 30 something plus years old and it's the first time you really get an opportunity to see what the world has to offer you outside of America. That's a little humbling. I get it. But
Mhm.
we do our best to present ourselves as people that care enough to say, okay, here's what we know, free.
Mhm.
And then here's the guided information in a way that is packaged so you can just make certain that if you are investing any more money, it's investment out of the United States in a way where your probability of success is actually high. So I definitely want to, shout out to y'all for certain for keeping this real, because a lot of people want to hear fluff that is designed around moving abroad. And we talk about some of those things, but the reality of it is your journey, you, the person that is actually watching this, to move abroad is only going to come down to what information you got before you left. The success rate
Yeah.
of it is only going to come down to that. So that is what we are trying to do here.
Mhm.
Let me ask you guys, because I know we got a couple of more questions before we get out of here. Um, One of the things that I'm seeing, and we talked about this earlier today, was that Plan B. Because we all are in Colombia, and I think a lot
Plan
of
B.
people are. Yeah, you weren't in the chat, but we had mentioned something about it earlier regarding having a Plan B.
Mhm.
Oh, I
And
thought we was talking
that's
about something else.
no cancelar un baby. No, 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 no. But Plan B in regards to having uh other opportunities, because you take Michelet. Michelet has lived in multiple countries. So if something was to go wrong, because we always have a plan, and it's not a worst case scenario plan, it's just an understanding that we don't control anything. And I think more
Nothing.
people, in looking at the move abroad process, and not only when you get down from 10 destinations to five, and then you narrow it down to three, and you might land on one, don't be afraid to go see what those other two were like. because it
Mhm.
gives you as the ability to kind of navigate these things, how to increase that probability. Like right now I'm in Mexico. Is it my goal of wanting to be in Mexico? No, but I like to have a little bit of options. I felt like I was boxed in when I was in the United States, and I always wanted to have options. So talk to me about what you guys are thinking regarding plan B, because I know a lot of people are looking into, okay, well, how do I navigate looking here but also looking elsewhere?
Plan B.
I have,
B,
yeah.
B, B,
Plan
B.
B, definitely. I think people think we're just like Colombia, Colombia, Colombia. Colombia is amazing to us right now, and I really love my home. But I'm always thinking of Plan B. We have land in Liberia that we just put a plot on so we can start building there. I'm doing that with one of my other girlfriends that's from Liberia. I'm looking into Panama just so I can be an hour away if something does go wrong, but I don't know if that's a place where I want to live because again, I left America to not be around everything that's in America, but I'm also smart enough to know we have to have a plan B. And so many people are in America without a plan. They're not even thinking of a
Mm-hmm.
plan. They're just thinking that America is going to remain this, whatever they assume that America is. But you should always have a plan B. And I'm just like you. My citizenship should be in Colombia in 1 year. And then I'm looking for visas in other places. I'm looking for citizenship in other places. I want once you realize how much free you feel when you have options and other opportunities, right? And so you hear us bigging up Colombia, but that's not the big picture. The world is huge.
It's so
Time
big.
it
It's
works for
huge,
you.
I know
guys.
I'm going back to the continent. I think I'm going to West or South Africa next. So I'm doing a lot
Yeah.
of research to figure out wherever I will land. When it's that time. But
Hmm.
yeah, but I know
And
I have different freedoms. I don't have children. I don't have, like I've been away from my family, like physically for a long time. So that's not even a
yeah,
huge
Yeah.
concern, for me or whatever. We got technology that we've been communicating with, so they'll be okay. I'll be okay. But
yeah,
yeah, I think for me, I think about where I can thrive and stuff, and where I want to be, and where my soul feels good. So that's
absolutely.
what I've been thinking is my
What
next.
I will tell you is plan B gets a little easier once you chisel out your plan A. Because once you've gone through the exercise of moving abroad, you start to learn what to look for. You start to understand what it is you really need. And I
True.
would say it's more difficult when you're leaving America for the first time and trying to narrow down what you really need, because you really haven't had
Mhm.
the piece to kind of settle into who you are again. But when you like go to look at plan B, you're like, I'm not saying anything about Mexico, and I'm just saying this because I know that I was like, okay, I'm going to go, and then based off of me being having moved for me, I'm like, okay, I'm not probably going to stay here as long because I know what I particularly need. Now,
Exactly.
but I wouldn't have had that discernment if I would have just came straight from the United States or never didn't know exactly what I was looking for. You just ready to get that long feeling after you traveled all day and you're ready to get to your hotel and you finally get in your room and you take off all your clothes and you be like, that's how it feels getting on the other side of the TSA. Finally, once you
Yeah.
finally move out of America, once you finally get to wherever it is your destination is, you're like, damn, dog, we've been traveling all day. I've been traveling for the last 35 years. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that feeling. So once you actually go and say, okay, now plan B, it becomes a little bit more clear, or your red flags of I'm not dealing with this, or no, I need
Mhm.
to be a part of a community, or I need to have access to these certain things. So I think Plan B is definitely going to be important for people that are looking, but it's not something that's all going to happen at once. It's a
Yeah.
gradual process as you go and learn more about yourself and find out what it is you do. Like you said that T-shirt about Panama, and I'm like, you're right, because the moment I see U.S. dollars, I start itching. I'm like, yeah, why is the U.S.
Ugh.
dollars out?
Yeah.
But you go to
Ugh.
Panama and U.S. dollars are running around. You can see them all the time. You know that certain
Mhm.
those things are things that you now know that you no longer want to pick up. So I think a lot of people, when looking at the Plan B option, it is something that you get on the other side of settling in and getting to relearn yourself and who you are. But I told people, listen, I'm gonna go get me one of those because you black citizenships. I was talking about that the other day.
Listen,
That's
that's
yeah.
why I
What
said West Africa
I
because
I
I'm
can't
getting dual
control
citizenship.
what
So
America does. The United States dollar
Mhm.
dropped 10% this year. The United States fell out of the top 10 most powerful passports in the world. It's like number
Yeah.
12 now. What if it keeps
Yeah.
falling and they just start cutting us off, which I'm starting to see now, where it's like, oh, reciprocal visas. So if America wants to choose, like they want to treat certain countries this way, then they're going to treat us this way. I'm gonna
Hmm.
go get me one of those. I hate to call it a we black, but it's like if you're black and you can prove it,
I mean,
then
that's
you
what it
can
Yeah.
get
is.
this citizenship. And I'm like, tú eres mi color,
If
mijo.
you,
Tú eres mi color.
one of those repatriation type things, yeah. If you can prove with through a DNA test that you
Yes,
have
sir.
some connection to that country, they'll give you an opportunity to get citizenship. So that, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But even without that, I was consider like Morocco has always been my second destination. So, and I say Morocco because I know where I can slide to in Morocco and just
And get a
live
fried
like
chicken.
live the quiet life, sell some oranges on the side of the street.
You're gonna come out with a turban,
Yeah, or go to the desert. I know
the
my people
beaded
in the
curtain.
desert got me. I know my Ganawa in the desert and in the Sahara Desert. I know they got me. So,
That sounds
worst,
isolated,
worst
bro.
case scenario, if I had to go, it would definitely be Morocco because sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they know my name in Morocco. So
Mhm.
there's a
Nah,
place in Ecuador too, but Ecuador is another country that uses the U.S. dollar. So I don't
Yeah.
know how that would play out.
yo, you in Morocco, between you and Tisha having beef with Morocco and her trying to tell you guys, she's like, I'm not messing with Morocco. Morocco's a good time. I think, listen, I
Well,
told
I mean,
Hakeem all the
for
time,
somebody
I'm
who's
not
been
going
there,
unless I'm going
both
with
as
you
a
the first time.
tourist, I'm a person who's been there as a tourist and who has been to inside people's homes. I've been to the countryside, I've been to the villages, I've been in my community, the Ganawa community, Black people in the Sahara Desert. Like, you know, that's another place that kind of felt like home. I would say Haiti. Haiti is another place, but it's a place where in Haiti I would just disappear. Disappear in the countryside, um, slow living. But Morocco it's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful country and it's very inexpensive. So that would definitely be my if Colombia doesn't work out, you will see me in a turban with a welcome to Morocco. I
that's
have a whole
Hakeem.
yeah.
Prince Hakeem of the Bronx.
But yeah, Morocco is the place. Morocco is the,
Oh,
and
I can.
I've stayed in Portugal for a month, and I would still go with Morocco over Portugal because
Okay.
Wow.
Portugal was like how I struggled in Medellin for food when I was in Portugal. Although
Mm.
they have a large, thriving Black foreigner community, Black immigrant community, mad people from the U.S. I only ate Brazilian food, Nigerian food, Senegalese food, only African food. I could only eat even in Spain. When I was in Spain, I could only eat African food. I'm not good with
Mm.
European food. Excuse me.
Mm.
So Morocco is
Well,
going to have to be Morocco. Morocco has great infrastructure. There are very few places you go where the roads are like unpaved. So
Morocco is your plan B.
yeah, Morocco
I
is
know we
yeah.
gotta I know we got to get out of here in a couple of minutes. I want to get wrapped up with a couple of things. I'm gonna ask you guys to not only leave with your thoughts on this, but once you do, not necessarily leave, but make sure they know how to find you, how to follow you, and what you may have coming up, and how to access it. Akeem, you do not have to say www. We are all going to be on the World
Please.
Wide Web, baby. Don't you worry. I'm just trying to make sure.
Bro, look,
Oh
you
God.
know, I don't know about anybody else in this group, but I was born in the 70s. So
He's
Me
like, the
too.
world, you can find me on the World Wide Web
the
at
what
www dot.
livebdo.net.
but that's the habit that I have on all my videos. I say www. You know, I'm animated, so I have to get forward. But yeah,
Nah,
okay.
it's all love. You know it's all love, my brother.
You
We
can
What I
love
want
you.
find me, you can find me at LiveBeDo on Instagram, Facebook, uh, Twitter or X. Um, what's the other one? TikTok.
Yep.
TikTok, we're doing numbers on TikTok. So come see us on TikTok. As a matter of fact, if you want to learn anything about Cali, Colombia, come to TikTok. IG, Instagram is really trying to play me. They're
That's
trying to
Suge
play
Knight.
my engagement, but it's all good. Come and see me on TikTok. Um,
Suge Knight of Cali.
or you can
Mm-hmm.
email me directly, info@livebedo.net. That's the best way to reach me. If you DM me, I may not get it. It may go to a spam folder,
They
or it
don't
may,
do DMs
people
or
send me.
texts, nothing. He said, email me at Hotmail. Now, all
Email
good.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hotmail.
yeah, yeah. Just email me. And if you want to learn about Cali, Colombia, if you want to learn about living in Cali, Colombia, the cost of living, anything Cali, Colombia, reach out, info@livebedo.net.
Cool. I wanted to leave with this. I wanted to hear from everybody, because we started off addressing the cost of the peace of mind when, in the United States and being inundated with all these things from Trump and him getting in arguments with everybody's favorite expat destination that they have on their radar, and how to block out the noise and focus on what you need. Um, I'm asking everybody to give me their take on this. Not too long, but what is the real cost of peace of mind when you leave the USA? I need y'all to tell what your thoughts on this is, because people need to know
What is it?
that
What's the question?
what is the real cost of peace of mind when looking to leave the USA? Because a lot of people don't realize that they're not giving up something; they're actually gaining something. So I want you to hit on that and lead them out. One,
I would
one.
say, I would say, if somebody offered me right now to move back to the States, a free house, a free car, and money every month to pay for my bills, I still would because you guys think it's just monetary. It's not. It's the energy, it's the food, it's the culture, it's the way of life, it's the news, it's the TV, monetary. And I think you guys think we just move for cheaper rent, but we move for quality of life. I would not come back. In order for me to come back, I would have to do a spiritual cleanse, a complete spiritual reset in order for me to come back. It's just priceless right now, and I'm not giving it up.
She said America is effing her chi up. That's what she said.
Yes,
I
that's
got you.
got it. Yeah.
What
I would
about
say
you, Hakeem?
quality of life, peace. Peace is the cost. Listen, um, right now, I'm in Virginia and I'm afraid to buy a loaf of bread because it doesn't mold. It
That
doesn't
part.
mold.
Can't even make a
It doesn't
sandwich there,
mold.
brother.
I'm afraid to buy a loaf of bread. And the loaf of bread that does mold from the bakery costs twice as much. It's like $6.
Yeah.
So things like that, I don't even have to worry about in Colombia. I don't even have to worry about what I'm eating because I know I'm always eating fresh ingredients. I'm always, and that for me, it's health. Health is the most important thing. Um, just the being able to eat fresh fruit in the morning for breakfast, having food that is not processed, whole foods, being able to have access to farmers and farmers markets and things like that. That's one of the things that I look forward to when I'm in Colombia every day. It's one of the things that I'm thankful for every day. I wake up grateful for the fact that I can have fresh fruit. And you know, you might think it's simple. You might think it, oh, that's too simple. That's listen,
It's
look
that simple.
into look into look into health in the United States and look at when you realize that just in my family, most of the things that are killing us are related to our diet.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, like, you know, and I'm at an age, I look young, but I'm not as young as I look. I'm grateful for the fact that I can get up in the morning and just have fresh fruit. Um, and if I didn't want to have fresh fruit, if I didn't go to the market, I can just walk down the street and grab it off a tree.
Just there. Yeah.
That's it.
No, that's
That's
real.
it. Just it's that
Yeah.
simple.
I
What
think
you got,
for
Michelle?
me, I would say audacity. I feel, we've discussed this before, and I think putting yourself outside of the norm, your normal environment, things that you were used to. Sometimes we get hung up on people who knew us or know us and their opinions and things like that. And I think, for several different reasons, you you just show up with more audacity. It's like you made a major step in your life, right? And so more things become possible in your brain.
Yeah.
And I think we have to activate our imagination more.
Mm.
That's why arts and crafts is my
Mhm.
thing. It's like it allows you to imagine and to create. And it's always an opportunity to create something different, something new. And I think that I know 100%, like this is my life's testimony of me even going to college on the opposite side of the country, leaving home, you know what I mean? Like stepping outside of that box of familiarity, that the things that I've done in this life, I'm so grateful. Like I can go today and be so happy. I have a lot more to live, I know, but I am grateful for
Yeah.
allowing myself to open myself up to new opportunities and new
Preach.
possibilities outside of what I was raised in. You know what I mean? Outside of the place that I was born in. It's so much freedom and stuff out here. So yeah, that's my
Right. That's a
point.
good word, freedom. I like that word.
Nah,
Yeah.
all of y'all responses have just inspired me just individually. Like, just never mind any of these cameras that's going on, just because it is so real. And what I want the audience to understand is, you might on the other end feel exactly like one of what you just heard, or you might have something totally different. But the opportunity, that is the thing that I think about when, the cost, the opportunity cost of it all, because my life would have been 100% in a different lane than it would be as it is lives right now. I would not be in
Testify.
front of. I would not.
Testify,
Bro,
brother.
I would not be doing this. Like, I would not be in front of you guys having a platform, coming together, bring that. My life wasn't focused on this, and I realized as I got more into it, whether it was me talking to myself and the audience was watching, or creating an opportunity for us to bring our perspectives on and have conversations. I realized my life would not have been this. I would not have gone down this path if I stayed in America. Now, I
Won't
don't
do it.
know if I would have changed somebody's life, have positively impacted somebody's life. I'd like to think that, I hope so, and I like to think all of us collectively have. But maybe that wouldn't have happened. Maybe that person that is the person that brings the kid from the United States and now has the ability to navigate living abroad because their parent felt like they had enough resources to do so. That right there, we don't know what is going to fall out, but I know that what we're doing here and what I'm doing is the reason why I'm like, the opportunity cost is too great for anybody that is considering moving abroad, because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are until you've left everything that felt comfortable, had to survive, look to thrive, and then put yourself in a scenario where you say, I don't want anything that I thought that I wanted everything of. That is power that you really don't
Period.
understand until you go to leave. So the opportunity cost is, can you afford to only give yourself what America will allow you to be inside of America? And I personally think that's a no. So
Mm.
that is why I appreciate all of you guys, not only the host, but everybody that tunes in, everybody that watches, comments. We do look at all the comments. We look to try to bring these things back to the conversation. We've done our best tonight to hopefully do that. We have done some things different, so I want to at least put it on the video. But if you guys go to moodtravelabroad.com, we will be updating these things, but you will be able to sign up, get the link for all of these conversations, as well as submit your questions to us, your questions, the topics that you want us to cover. That way we can stay on par with what it is you may want to hear more of. So going to moodtravelabroad.com and going under the Roots and Routes podcast link, there you will find the information to submit your information and get the link to watch us if you are not already subscribing. What I also need you guys to do is go there on moodtravelabroad.com, because we get down to the nitty gritty when it comes down to relocation. So you did mention Tisha earlier, as well as Michelet. We've got Colombia, so Cali, Medellin, Santa Marta, Cartagena. We also have Mexico, Playa del Carmen, Mexico, Panama City, Panama, Cape Town, South Africa. All of the foundational legs that you need to help you narrow down a destination, plus all of the other things that you might forget when you're running out of the burning house that is America. So if you guys go there, what I will tell you is early bird will end October 31st. So through the end of this week, you guys can get all your early bird tickets. I saw some tickets come in today. You guys can also, so if you're watching this, you guys get a discount. If you guys use the code FREEDOM10, FREEDOM10, FREEDOM,
I
number
knew it was a
10.
reason I like that word.
Freedom 10. You use Freedom 10, you can take $10 off any of our early bird tickets. So make sure you guys are going to moodtravelabroad.com. All of the information for our virtual relocation conference is on there for November 22nd. And there you'll find so much more information, as well as all of our relocation opportunities. We start off February 1st to I believe it's February 1st to the 15th, I believe, in Cali.
Hmm?
Yes, it's
February
February.
1st to the 15th. Go ahead.
Well, it's February 1st. It's the entire month, but we're going to give people an opportunity on the 15th to go ahead to Medellin for the second half of the month.
Come on out. If you are interested in seeing and getting an understanding of what Medellin and Cali have to
Right. If
offer,
they right, but Cali
February
is the
1st
entire
through.
month, February 1st to the 28th. But we I think we're having another event. There's going to be another event in Medellin that we want to give our people an opportunity to attend if
Hmm.
Yes.
they're
Yep, February 16th through the 22nd, we will be in Medellin, Colombia. So definitely get ready for that. Your purchase of the virtual relocation conference ticket does get you a discount on that particular physical relocation come February. So we do our best to try to give you something where you can not have to buy a plane ticket, and you can actually get some information before you actually go about purchasing that plane ticket. Tisha, I feel like you have something else coming up too. Am I mistaken? Do you have another virtual tour coming up?
Not yet, guys. I just did my last one of 2025. I will be in Medellin with you guys, maybe Cali in February, but we will in July, guys. Stay tuned. We will have a 15-day immersion where we're going to go to Cali, Medellin, Santa Marta, and the woohoo Cartagena, so you guys can get that experience with all of us for 15 days. And that way you get to see each city and learn and see properties, do tours. We're going to have events for you guys, and that date is coming for July, so stay tuned for that. But yes, I just did my last virtual tour. I'm tired.
Oh,
Tired.
love. And for everybody that is in Medellin, I want or happen to be going there this week. I think it's this week. Micheline, don't you have some things coming up, some workshops that are coming up in Medellin?
I
Yes.
do. So I do a lot of the craft workshops and fun community things here. So yeah, I got some workshops coming up. I'm collaborating with a local pastry chef, and we're doing cake decorating workshops for Halloween this coming weekend. We got a couple dates on the book, so I'm excited for that. Got some people signed up, and yeah, I got, just plenty of that kind of stuff coming up for the
How can I
rest of the
purchase tickets to what's happening this weekend and going forward? Because I know people, you'd be surprised. People will literally type in Medellin because they're there this weekend and may see this video.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I have it actually linked. Well, they can go to my Instagram first and foremost. So I have my craft page where it's called Unbox UNBOX dot by mishmash. I know it's long. I need to change it probably, but yeah. Or my regular Instagram also, which is mishmash underscore world MICHMOSH underscore world. And yeah, because I
Mhm.
posted on both of them. But yeah, I got a bunch of exciting stuff. I've been doing like a lot of different things. I'm starting back up my sewing club. I have a kids arts and crafts club. It's a lot of parents who homeschool and stuff here, and so I have different type of recreational activities for the whole community for adult and children fun.
Nah, that's dope. What I'm gonna do is work with y'all, everybody in the back end, so we can do our best to try to get all of these events and things that we all have across the calendars on the one calendar, so we can try to keep it all
Yeah.
in one place, so everybody has access. Whether you're looking to travel, whether you're here in Colombia this month or this week, you can kind of get an understanding of what's going on the ground that you'd be able to go to as we continue to try to make sure once you land that you have something to land to. So thank y'all everybody for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, make sure you're sharing this with somebody that needs to hear it if it's not you. Ladies and my brother, I will talk to you guys soon, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Ciao.
Ciao, guys.